Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Marketplace. My name is Darryl Kwao. Coming up this afternoon, government reviews interest payment on loans to be granted MSMEs under the COVID-19 stimulus package. Meanwhile, the Metropolitan Assembly in Kumasi is considering relaxing levies charged businesses to cushion them. We'll have a report from there. And as oil sector bankruptcies loom in the U.S., we'll tell you how that could affect prices of fuel products locally. Thanks for being with us once again. We've got the details right after this break. Welcome back, everyone. In our first story this afternoon, interest payment on loans to be granted to micro, small and medium enterprises has been reviewed from 5% to 3%. According to the Executive Director of the National Board for Small-Scale Industries, Aboagye-Wiafe, government reviewed the rate in response to the plight of small businesses in the country. She was addressing today's COVID-19 briefing.
Interest rate, after deliberations with the President and the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Trade and Industry, after conducting a survey with about 1,700 MSMEs in Ghana. Initially, we had suggested 5%, but the President, in consultation with the team, decided to review that interest rate due to the plight of the Ghanaian MSMEs at a time such as this to 3%. The moratorium still remains up to 1 year, and during the application process, MSMEs have the option of ensuring that they select a moratorium that would work best for them at a time like this. The term of the loan remains between the range of 2 to 3 years. This was taken into consideration based on the information that we have received even from the Ministry of Information, which states that at this moment, COVID-19, we are all not sure when it would go away. But we are also given the option for MSMEs to be able to hold their businesses and support their employees at a time such as this.
And we are learning that about 5,000 applications have been received so far. Mrs. Aboagye-Wiafe also gave an update on what is being done to fix the challenges with the online portal created to facilitate the receipt of applications from businesses.
Currently, we have received some calls about the technology that we have launched. And I think it's important to share this on a podium such as this. Some of the challenges that have come up that the USSD code times out at some point. It is important to note that the USSD is a short process, and so we have to be efficient in inputting data onto that. And also there were some technology or network challenges, and so we've worked to ensure that we have an efficient delivery of the USSD going forward. We also have set up a grievance center to ensure that all the complaints that we have would come to that portal to assist us answer the challenges that Ghanaians face. We have received some calls that the code hangs at some point and they are not able to finalize it. This is about 1% of the calls that we have received. And we want to assure Ghanaians and MSMEs, the micro, small and medium enterprises, that we are working on this day and night to ensure that we give nothing but the best.
Well, the truth is that not every small business will benefit from this stimulus package. So how do entrepreneurs cope? What strategies can they adopt? Joining me is Ernest Alma, who is country manager for NPACT, a German-based accelerator. It's good to have you this afternoon, Ernest. So first, talk to us about NPACT, what kind of support you give small businesses.
Hi, Darryl. Thanks for having me on your show. MPAT is a non-profit that supports startup founders, entrepreneurs, ecosystems, and international economic cooperation in general. Basically, what we do is to look at the challenges that entrepreneurs face, especially in developing economies, and make support available to them through mentoring and sometimes connecting them to ecosystem enablers to move their businesses to the growth stage.
So what sort of feedback are you hearing from these businesses on how the pandemic is affecting the operations?
Well, I think this pandemic has taken everyone by surprise. We've not been here before. We are in a very unique situation, and all of us are trying to make sense of all that is going on. For entrepreneurs especially, this has been a period of uncertainty and also giving them the opportunity to introspect and re-strategize. Last week, I had an engagement with 4 entrepreneurs. 3 were Ghanaian and 1 was a Nigerian, and they were sharing experiences so far. And it was interesting. For those who were doing business the normal physical way, they have learned that it's become important to switch to online and make use of available online tools to do their businesses. And for those who were already, who had over 80% of their businesses online based, this has also been a time for them to think about new opportunities, because in this period, there's been a shift in consumer taste, consumer preferences. So it's also a time for the entrepreneur to understand this shift and also adjust their businesses accordingly.
Well, we know that government is moving to support, right? We've heard about the stimulus package that has been launched, but not every business, like I was saying, is going to benefit from this. So if I'm not going to benefit from this stimulus package, what can I do really?
I think entrepreneurs have to think this way. You were already in business before COVID-19 came. You were tapping into your own entrepreneurial drive, spirit to survive and to thrive in business. So I think it's basically the same thing, just that now we are in a very uncomfortable situation. So you need some stimulation to step up and keep your business going. But what can you do without that support? You have to go back to the drawing board and see what you can do differently. As you rightly said, not all entrepreneurs are going to benefit from this. And the whole underlining and justification for a stimulus package is to incentivize, is to encourage businesses to keep moving, is to also sustain their cash flow and keep them liquid. So that's what it does. So it's like a first aid, is not a cure in itself. So the biggest challenge that COVID-19 is posing to all entrepreneurs is this is an opportunity to attempt different things, to push yourself a bit harder, to make sense of market trends and then the changes in consumer preferences, and tailor your businesses accordingly to meet emerging needs. So it's a challenge. And as entrepreneurs, we are expected to rise to the challenge.
Okay, my final question to you, when should a small business face the reality that I'm not going to survive this period? Maybe I should just fold up or consider merging?
Well, I think it depends on a lot of factors. If you have co-founders that you're working with, it's a time for all of you to come together and have a very frank conversation on where to take your business. If you don't see any opportunity for your business in these times, I would say don't be in a haste to quit. Just make some time to think through, because sometimes people quit because they haven't made time to figure out the existing or emerging opportunities. So what I would say is this is not a time to quit, because this is life. There's going to be more surprises ahead. If you're saying that for every new surprise that comes your way is a reason to quit, then I'm sorry, that's not what entrepreneurship is all about, because there will be change.
The possibility
what you need to do is to prepare yourself to manage these changes.
The possibility
so this is not the time to quit.
The possibility of measures, I wanted to pick your thoughts on that, maybe joining forces and joining forces with somebody else to create a business together at this point.
It makes sense because it makes sense to join forces together because it's also a way of spreading risk. Most often people think about the rewards, the benefits that comes in, but it's also a matter of spreading risk. So if you have like-minded people that you are comfortable with, people that you trust, they also people that are competent enough to help propel your business forward, why not? This is an opportunity to also have conversations about mergers, because that is one way of staying resilient and keeping your business sustainable in the long term.
Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. You had Ernest Ama. He is country manager for Impact. Some perspective on how small businesses can survive during this period. Now, we are turning next to the Ashanti region, where the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly says it is considering relaxed rent, levies and rates on businesses. It is in response to calls by business operators for some interventions to reduce the impact of COVID-19. Prince Apia has more in this report.
The effects of the COVID-19 on businesses in Ashanti region has been very impactful. So businesses and business operators have often called on authorities to relax on the levies, rates and taxes that are imposed on businesses here in Ashanti region.
Considering the uncertainty in the system now, the flow of the business has changed a bit. Those who used to supply on credit, because of the uncertainty, nobody knows what's going to happen. They are all demanding on cash. All of a sudden, you have to buy on cash. Buying on cash also puts some kind of cash constraint on us, because it's something that we didn't prepare for. Going to the bank too is a problem. The bank also sees it as a big challenge. So we are praying that if the government can come in and give us some kind of relief in the form of a soft loan, any other fund that the government can just come in for us to have some kind of relief to operate.
We heard our stimulus packages. What are you also doing locally since you operate within this space?
Some of them have their business not well formalized. So we are trying to formalize their businesses to make sure that anything that is going to happen, they are going to have a benefit of what the intervention that the government is bringing on board.
This came to fore when the Ashanti Business Owners Association donated 40,000 Ghana cedis together with some PPEs to the Kumasi Metro Health Directorate and the Kumasi Metro Assembly. Leadership of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly say they've been in contact discussions with business operators in the region and they might consider it. We've been speaking to the coordinating director of the KMA.
To look at maybe easing the payment of rent and other taxes to us. But I heard the secretary expressing concerns about some of these things, and we have heard them right. You know, we are all business partners in development. We have been having a series of meetings with them. Yes, and so it means that we need to sit down and discuss their concerns and see how best as an assembly we can also, do something to ensure that the environment for business becomes something conducive for them, so that what they are contributing to us as an assembly, they will be able to discharge those responsibilities.
My name is Prince Apia, reporting from Kumasi.
Next to the oil industry and concerns that oil bankruptcies are looming in the U.S., this development, according to the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, Duncan Amwa, is likely to cause a significant increase in prices of petroleum products. He says consumers could be paying more. He has been urging government to take steps to cushion consumers from any unforeseen situation by entering into a hedging agreement.
A lot of the American energy companies or oil firms are filing for bankruptcy. What it means is that they will not be able to put out as much onto the market as they used to force prices down. And so the projections are that oil prices may just go up between now and, the first quarter of 2021. So it's not surprising that the past few days you've seen about a 7% jump. Today, a lot of the benchmarks are quoting around 30. Just a few weeks ago, we had even gone and crashed to zero and negative. Now prices are rising again. Should Ghana take advantage and hedge? We ask again, should Ghana be proactive and decide in getting certain things, in place, so that as prices continue to climb from the 15, the 16, the 17, whatever we need to put in place now, if we are even hedging at 35, although it's not 35 yet, because of forward forecast and projections, if it ever got to 40, Ghanaians will be better off. If it got to 35, it means that we will not increase fuel prices anymore. And so it will be better we take some of these financial instruments available now, because the projections and the outlook, it is expected that once COVID finally eases, the global economic index may shoot up drastically, because companies that had gone into recession and not producing, they may all come on stream again, and that would mean a lot more demand for oil. Once you have a higher demand for oil and OPEC still continues with its cutbacks on production numbers, the only eventual outcome will be an upward, or some increases in oil prices. And that we should prepare our minds for as Ghanaians. But the state establishments must also ensure that they put in some remedial measures to ensure that if it should rise to 40, we would not come and burden Ghanaians at the pumps with higher fuel prices. We need to put in place some scientific, mechanisms to protect the Ghanaian consumer.
The Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana is calling on government to make use of modern technology to avert increasing post-harvest losses. Now, according to the Chief Executive, Anthony Morrison, some foodstuff do not make it to the market largely due to poor roads. This, he believes, has contributed to the increase in food prices.
Technology is very essential, and post-harvest technology is not only a mitigating effect on the economical scale, but also it helps in food security on a broader line scale. For instance, if government can devise a way, or there are technologies that can store yam for 2 years, okay, times that we do not have enough yam, they can release this on the market for us to eat. And you understand that times that we do not have market, prices jump more than 30 to 40%, okay? It's also as a result of our farming system being based on the rain, natural rainfall or rain-fed. Then also you understand that in the northern part of Ghana, they have the unimodal system of farming. So they farm once a year. Meanwhile, in the south, they have the bimodal system of farming. So they do the 2 years farming system. Technology, when well used, can support all these issues that we are talking about. The Malabo Declaration have requested of government to make available at least 3% of their budgetary allocation for agriculture. And it must be an increasing budgetary allocation. And most governments have not been able to do that. The last time we were looking at the CADEP score for Ghana, we did 6.2. And I think that as an agriculture country, it should be hitting like 8 to 9. That is when we begin to talk about agriculture being the hub or the economy base of Ghana. So it's something that needs to be done.
Now, if COVID-19 has made you a bit careful about how and where you shop, this may be helpful. So imagine this, an online platform where you can shop for everything African fashion. That's what Henry Kobler and his team at awinipa.com have been able to build, currently showcasing products of about 600 vendors. They aim to become the largest marketplace for African fashion products, and they are well on their way to achieving that. Awinipa.com is a feature on the Joy Business Van today.
The fashion industry is worth trillions of dollars globally. Many African entrepreneurs are pursuing opportunities in that industry. Problem is how to market their products or where to market them. There appears to be a solution. At the Code Hub in Accra, Henry Kobler and his team are thinking around how to further expand ahwenpa.com, the e-commerce platform created by the computer engineer and his partner Aboagye-Wiafe, a fashion enthusiast, to provide online marketing services for local designers.
Ahwenpa basically was started by my co-founder Araba, where she was more intrigued by the designs African has. And so she decided to start selling most of these products. But from the computer background, I thought that it was better off to create a platform that brings most of the vendors together to sell most of these products, because it was so difficult always trying to find different creative people from different locations selling their product for her to sell to most of the people that will be interested in.
Ahwenpa features some of the best fashion brands in the country, such as Agile and Alfie Designs, carefully selected, and the emphasis is on quality.
Ahwenpa in our local parlance means a product that is well woven. So Ahwenpa means woven, and then the pa means quality or good. So the main together comes into be Ahwenpa. A product that is well woven. So that's where we came out with that. We were looking at a word that essentially cumulated what we really wanted to push out there.
All you have to do is surf for your product of choice and make your payments online. Ahwenpa then gets commissions on the products sold, and that's how the e-commerce platform makes money. And it appears to be working for a country where e-commerce is gradually becoming popular. Although the numbers are way below the global average of about 30%, young Africans with access to internet are embracing online shopping more.
So behind Ahwenpa are some amazing people that make it work. Even though it's an online platform, we basically have a lot of people that make sure that the day-to-day activities is on point. And I'm going to walk you through to see them. Essentially, what happens here is that it's more of a customer service-based and development-based hub, which whenever we want to add new features to our online platforms, like build our mobile applications, put in advancements to our mobile applications, we do it here. Also, if we have orders, there are customer service representatives that basically are going to call the vendors, make sure that the products are available, call the customers, give them the right information, and take the right information also from them.
What's perhaps more impressive about Ahwenpa is that it's expanded to 5 countries in just 4 years, including Nigeria, South Africa, Rwanda, and Kenya, where they have started production too.
In the criteria, you have to have very quality product. It has to be innovative. It has to be competitive on the platform. And we look out for people that seek to project the image of Africans. So it's not just putting any product on, but we're looking out for very innovative products that are within the quality range.
Henry explains what has contributed to his e-commerce platform's success, from just a classified site to a multi-vendor shop.
We've had some amazing successes where we're running close to over 600 different designers, very active accounts, buying and selling. We basically had to join in the Alibaba program, which was organized by Alibaba and UNCTAD, essentially going through China, understanding how the e-commerce in Ali works, big data, augmented reality, digital payments. So essentially bringing that span where they've been able to make it into our local setting is one of the most amazing things which we've experienced.
One of the challenges for Henry and his team is obtaining quality products from local vendors, and they are tackling that by training some of the vendors.
We're looking at scaling to a lot more African countries. We've been able to do the East and South. We're looking at doing the North, and still within the West African countries, we think that there are still more stories to tell. We just don't want to sell product, we want to sell a story to the international brands. We want to compete alongside most of the international brands. We're looking at being able to raise the channels for most of the brands that will be selling on our platforms to have better standards, to sit on the shelves of Walmart and other very big brands out there.
And the story just began for Ahwenpa.
And I guess it makes much more sense to push your products online during these times of the COVID-19 pandemic. And that's it for the marketplace this afternoon. Thanks for watching. My name is Darryl Kwao. There's more news on myjoyonline.com/business. Thanks for watching.